My video is 3 days late. Maybe more. Yep, no, it's definitely 4 days late. At least. Holy cow. And there's reason for that. I had this big idea, this huge plan of what this video was going to be about, and I came home and rushed home from work to do it, and I was going to cram it in all in that night, and it didn't work. I got 3 hours of footage, and that was too much. I'm going to say a lot of things about this, but I'm going to give you everything in a really, really quick, condensed nutshell. I ended up coming out really slowly. If you watch The Fault in Our Stars or read The Fault in Our Stars, I think Hazel says it. She falls in love with Gus the way you could fall asleep, slowly and then all at once. And I actually feel like that's how I came out. It was slowly and then all at once. So October, I figured out I was in love with a girl. November, I started to go to counseling because I didn't want to be in love with a girl. December, November, December, I was like reading up on bisexuality and like deciding, is this who I am? Is this like, because that my counselor talked about like same-sex attractions being normal in straight people, and I was like, okay. I've had like hit and miss things coming out. It's either been like so great and they're so supportive. I'm gonna cry. Like really, like I came out to my best friend and she was like, I don't even know what she said, but she was like, I would like talk about being in love, and she'd be like, that's precious. I'm like, but it sucks, and she'd be like, yeah. And then I came out to my roommate, and I was like shaking, like, I've never cried so hard in my life, but it was so good. It was so perfect. She just like hugged me and she was like, that sucks, which was exactly what I needed to hear because it did suck. And it has sucked. And she said it sucks because she knew I wasn't going to be accepted. And I wasn't. December, I told that girl that I was in love with her. When I was figuring out that I was in love with a girl. I wrote this poem not when I was figuring out that I was bisexual, but that I was in love with a girl. I wrote that poem, got done with it in December. I gave it to the girl that I loved for her to read over Christmas break. That was how I told her. I am just giving you a quick glance of the poem. If you want to read it, I'd be more than happy to share it with you, but I don't really want to just post it yet because I haven't perfected it, and yeah, I just kind of want it to be at its best when I share it with the world. She took it very well. Like I knew it was going to make things really weird, but things were already really weird. Like I felt guilty about doing everything with her because I just liked her so much that like even little things, even like, oh, I want to hang out with her tonight. I felt bad because I'm like, oh, I'm doing this because I like her. And I was. So I just needed to be really upfront with her. And that it went well for what it was. And January, we talked about me being in love with her and what that meant. And she was very nice about it. She did not feel the same way. She kind of figured things out over Christmas break. I had decided by that point in time that I was bisexual. Yeah, so I came out I would come out to like one person at a time, like one person a week, and I was like, it was really dark. Um, it was, I like wanted to change so bad. I just felt really bad for liking a girl at all. And I know I've liked girls before, but it was always like mild enough that I could push it off. I wanted to be like, no, these are just weird attractions that you've only had once. I would actually tell people when I told them that I was in love with a girl that I've never had feelings for girls before, which was a lie. Over that Christmas break, I came home and I told people that I was bisexual. And they were like, most of them were like, I know. It was so weird. It took me falling in love with someone to uh, love a part of myself. It was like the first time that I was just really, really real with myself. And really, things just like clicked. I think what's hard about being bi and is that like if you're gay, you just there seems to be this consensus that you always know. Like, you knew you were different from when you were really little. You just knew. You knew you didn't like, if you're a girl, you knew you didn't like guys the way other girls did. Um, for me, I did. I liked guys the way other girls did. I had huge crushes on guys. And that made it really, really confusing because then I was like, got to high school and people were telling me I was a lesbian, and I'm like, where are you even coming up with this? Oh, I wish I could just come out and say I'm a lesbian because honestly, Christian people might accept that. Christian people might accept that easier. People in general might accept that easier. And like also being bisexual, it's like, well, then just marry a guy because you can be attracted to them. And it's like, yeah, but I don't like if it's between someone I like love a lot and someone I'm in love with, I don't want to be like, well, okay, I'm going to go for the one I love a lot because they're they just have different physiology, you know? Like I want to be I don't want to limit that. I want to just be in love with who I'm in love with. Like, don't we just all want to be head over heels for someone? If I can be head over heels for a woman, I'm going to take that. I'm going to take being head over heels for a woman over tolerating a man or even fondly liking a man. But if I happen to fall madly in love with a man, great. I mean, that's a possibility for me as much as falling in love with a woman is. That's just who I am. Like, I could love either gender. I want to choose the happiest life I can choose, obviously. Like, doesn't everyone want the happiest life they can have? But it would have been easier, God, if I was just a lesbian. Because I could be like, it's in my DNA, and I can't help, like, I can only like girls, and I don't even have the option of liking guys. It's really hard. Ah. But I had no idea. I had no idea where they were coming up with this crap. I didn't want to be a lesbian because I'm not. I'm not a lesbian. I'm not. But I also didn't want to be bi either because bi people are like confused and they're they want attention and they want like they want threesomes. I had these stereotypes built into my head, and I know other people do too. So it was just really hard for me to accept in myself because I thought so negatively of those people. Like, I remember seeing friends come out. I'd be like, oh my gosh, why did they come out as bi? Come on. Come, like, if you're gonna come out of the closet, come out all the way, right? You know? Like, that's how it feels. You're like, come on. We know that you're not. Just come out all the way. Because there are gay people who use it as a stepping stone. And, I mean, fine. That's fine. That's their life. But then, it's not, like, then it's just assumed that I'm going to use it as a stepping stone. February, I kind of just cut myself off from the world. And I started ignoring people because I had come out to a lot of people, and I know they loved me, but a lot of things that they said were just really hurtful. Like, I'm gonna try to pray for these things to go away. It was just bad. And I was sick of hearing it. It was just, I didn't want to hear it anymore, so I just locked myself in my room, and I hardly ever came out. Come out. I was so depressed. I actually even had I was starting to see things. I was starting to I was starting to have awake nightmares that I couldn't control. I was seeing, I was actually hallucinating while if I laid down and sat still for too long, I'd hallucinate and see really scary shadowy figures. It was really weird, but sometimes they were really pleasant. I don't know, it was little LSD dreams before dreaming. It was weird. I would cry so hard that I would almost vomit. I started having panic attacks 3 times a day. I'd never have ever even come close to panic attacks. March, I came out on Facebook. Facebook was so supportive. I got over 180 likes. I went from this place of no one, almost no support to oh my gosh, people like me, what the heck? I started hanging out with friends again, though my friends, the people who were close to me since I locked myself away for so long, kind of just significantly, it went down significantly. But the people who were there, were there for me all the time. And they were there for me even when I was, locking them out of my room. There were some people who just kept coming to my room all the time. And I am so grateful for those people. Oh my gosh, you have no idea. I was at my worst. I was going insane. I don't know how people can love me when I'm just so crazy. They're so nice. But my parents were that made our relationship way better. I haven't had the strongest relationship with my parents the last couple of years. I came out, just made things 100 times better. Honestly, they were I'll love you no matter what. And both of my mom and my stepdad were just it was so great. All of a sudden, they just it was we just, I don't know, just got this sudden really close bond, and maybe it was just because I was honest. Actually, my mom knew. I was Mom, I have something to tell you. She are you gay? I'm like, Mom, I'm bisexual. And she's like, oh, I thought you were a lesbian. Like, Mom, what the heck? And then I think, yeah, she was just so stunned. I've known. Okay, thanks, Mom. Oh, also you. Also, when I came out to you, you're like, oh, yeah. You're like, oh, Amy, I just have to tell everyone. Amy is the best straight person ever. Because she's like, she's told me before, if I fell in love with a girl, I think that'd be really cool. Sometimes I wish I could fall in love with a girl, but I can't. And I think being in love with a girl would be really awesome. But she just can't. She can't fall in love with a girl. But she like would want to. And that's the best straight person ever. Coming out to people at college. Awful. Awful. Like, some of them, super good. I made, like, it was like those friendships that I had just became, like, super tight. It, like, strengthened our relationship even more. Uh, some of them, I was like, you just hate me. Or you just don't get me. Most of them didn't get me. Which I understand because I didn't get me until October. Well, okay, no. Back up a little bit. I started going to some support groups at college, which I found out actually that it's really extremely difficult to even be an ally in that Christian town. Like like even the allies get discriminated against. Like they're afraid to come out of the closet as people who support gay people. Gay people. Gay people. And so can you imagine anything even more rare than gay? Like, oh my gosh. So, yes, there were professors who were very kind. They knew that I came out. They were friends with me on Facebook, and they would like privately email me and stuff and be like, hey, just want you to know that I support you. But they can't like actually do much more than that. Because the administration might do something. I don't know if they actually would, but I wouldn't put it past them. Maybe that's me. But it kind of is true. Sorry for administration watching this, but I kind of was afraid of you, to be honest. Whew. Then I graduated. But right now I'm like really happy right now because people, I like go to work and I tell people like I'm bisexual and they're like, oh my gosh, okay. Like, they don't even say, oh my gosh. They just like, okay. Like, it's not a big deal. It's not, and it shouldn't be a big deal. A big thing I do want to say is that though these people cause me a ton of pain, I don't want to necessarily say we should just stop being friends with them. Because they haven't even gotten the chance to figure these things out. Like, they've just been told this one idea their whole life, and they're trying to work through that, and honestly, it's really hard for me to for me to accept this. But they think, what they're trying to do is love me. And I mean, seems like discrimination is actually a form of love. Okay, not love, but like it comes from love. Does that make sense? Like they love me. They're not, that's not love. I don't want you to think that love is pain. Like it comes from a loving place. And some of it honestly is. Some of it is discrimination. Some of them are straight out just being bullies. When you love and don't think, you can do a lot of hurtful things, which I think is a really hard thing to accept. If you love something a lot, that's why you have like really overprotective boyfriends / spouses that will go out and kill people for you. So you can do stupid things when you love people. And that's a hard thing to accept because we just want love to be this perfect flowery thing. And it's messy like everything else in the entire world. It's messy. You can think you can do something out of love and it isn't love. But I don't want to stop loving these people. These people, though they suck at accepting this thing about me, have accepted many other things about me that other people have a really hard time accepting. And they've brought out like the absolute best, some of the absolute best features about myself that I would have never found. People are gonna have a really hard time with this for a long time. It's an issue that's gonna be talked about a lot. Do I regret coming out at a Christian college? Absolutely not. I know it's not for everyone because it hurts a lot. If you're at a Christian college, a Christian school, you live in a Christian home, and you think people aren't going to accept you, you're probably right. There's probably going to be a lot of people who give you a lot of crap. If you are strong enough and you do have people in your life, I did. I do. I do have people in my life who will support me and like be there for me no matter what. If you have those people, please do come out. If you think you can handle it, please do. Because people see then that this issue just it's actual, it's not just a distant issue anymore. It's real live people. It's people with emotions that hurt. And ultimately, it becomes a person you love. And when you love that person, it makes the issue way more tangible. If you are not emotionally strong enough, though, don't. Like, just wait. Wait until, like, for some people, waiting is the best. Like, honestly, it's drove me insane. When I see videos of people coming out like this, when I see other friends coming out like this, when I see support, I hurt less because I'm not alone. If you can't, I totally understand. Like I totally understand. I totally understand, and I won't be mad at you. Like, good for you. Good for taking care of yourself. Like, loving only guys would be so much easier. But now that I've accepted it, I don't want it to ever change. I love it. I love that I love all genders. I really, really do. I really love it. And I never thought I never thought that saying I'm bisexual would make me so happy. I didn't know what I was gonna say I'm bisexual, but I didn't know it's been a word that's tasted so bad in my mouth for so long, and now it's there, and it's like, that's me. That's who I am. I'm bisexual, and I'm freaking proud, okay? I'm freaking proud. Thanks for being supportive!